Ballad of Rohingya. Conflictual Past, Exiled Present, Uncertain Future by Mahbub Saber. Chapter 1. Myanmar and Rakhine State. Myanmar, the country that Rohingyas called home. Myanmar, or Burma, as it was known during the British colonial era, is a country located at the junction of South and Southeast Asia. With about 676,578 square km of landmass, it is the 10th largest country in Asia by area. It shares land border with 5 countries, namely Thailand, south and southeast, Laos, east, China and India to the north, and Bangladesh, northeast, where Bay of Bengal marked its western limit. The 2017 census accounted its population to be about 54 million. Of them, about 68% belongs to the ethnic Burmese, the dominant race of the country on every account: political, military, and socio-economic dominance. One of the most ethnically diverged countries of the world, Burmese government officially recognizes 135 distinct ethnic groups, including the Burmese, and grouped them into 8 major national ethnic races, i.e. Burma, Chin, Kachin, Kayin, Kaya, Mon, Rakhine, and Shan, each allocated with a specific geographic region of the country. There are many unrecognized ethnic groups existing within its territory, the largest being the Burmese Chinese and Panthay, together formed about 3% of the population, Burmese Indians, about 2% of the population, Anglo-Burmese, Gurkha, and the Rohingyas constituted amongst the larger groups. The administrative structure of the country is arranged into 7 states. Each state is a designated territory for one of the 7 major ethnic groups mentioned previously. 7 regions, the Bama inhabitant territories, are reorganized into 7 regions, 6 self-administered zones. Over the years, 6 ethnic groups successfully negotiated a separate Naypyidaw, being the political and territory for them, and administrative capital of the country. The country is governed as a parliamentary system known as the Assembly of the Union. Pyidaung Su Hluttaw, in Burmese pronunciation, is made up of 2 houses: the 224-seat Upper House of Nationalities, Amyotha Hluttaw, and the 440-seat Lower House of Representatives, Pithu Hluttaw. Each of the 14 administrative states and regions have their own Hluttaw: State Hluttaw, State Assembly, or Region Hluttaw, Region Assembly. The military-drafted 2008 Constitution of Myanmar granted 25% of the seats in all legislative chambers for the military personnel. A total of 386 military personnel will be appointed as lawmakers, 110 out of 440 seats for lower house, 56 out of 224 seats for upper house, and 220 out of 883 seats for 7 states, 7 regions. The commander-in-chief of the country will appoint one of the 2 vice presidents along with 3 ministers of the Ministries of Defense, Home Affairs, and Border Affairs. The Rakhine State. Rakhine State, formerly known as Arakan during the British period, is one of the 7 states of Myanmar that received its statehood in 1974. Prior to that, the territory was known as Arakan Division. Situated on the western coast of the country, it is bordered by Chin State to the north, Magway Region, Bago Region, and Ayeyarwady Region to the east, the Bay of Bengal to the west, and the Chittagong Division of Bangladesh to the northwest. Total area of the state is 36,778 square kilometer, with Sittwe, formerly Akiab, as its capital and also a major port city. The state is administratively divided into 5 districts, namely Mangdao, Mraukyu, Shtui, Kyaukpyu, and Thandwe. Combined together, these districts have a total of 17 townships, quite equivalent to upazilas of Bangladesh, and 1,164 village tracts. Prior ranges to the 25th August 2017 exodus. A series of ragged hill longitudinally divided the state into a number of segments and has also geographically isolated it from rest of the country. The 2014 unofficial census accounted the total population of the state to be about 3.3 million, wherewith about 2.1 million ethnic Rakhine community is the most dominant race and also the principal reason of naming the state. Prior to the 25 August 2017 exodus, the Rohingyas were the second largest community with approximately 1.1 million populations and ethnic minorities. Chin, Chakma, Chak, Mama, Murong and Burmans makes up the rest. Arakan had been an independent kingdom for over a millennium, though the ancient Arakanese chronicles claims King Marayu founded the Danayawadi city and the kingdom in 3325 BC. Arakan was often considered by its inhabitants as a continuation of the Chittagong Plain and was neither purely a Burmese nor an Indian territory till the 18th century AD. The European travellers and chroniclers refer them as Rikon, Rakan, Arakan, Arakau, Orakan, Arakan, Arakan. In colloquial Chittagong dialect, the country is called Rohang and Roshang. All these various forms are closely related to the origin of Rakhine or Rakhine. The graduals of expansion and disintegration of the kingdom was closely connected to its degree of control over the territories of southeastern Bengal in general and its commercial and cultural ties with Chittagong in particular. The kingdom enjoyed varied degree of independence throughout its existence and was finally conquered by invading Burmese forces and defeated for good in 1784. The landmass of the state is fertile, relatively well endowed with natural resources and strategically located. Yet, its economy is marked by stagnation, underinvestment, and underdevelopment. The state's poverty rate is 78%, almost double the national rate of 37.54%, which makes it one of the poorest parts of the country. All communities in Rakhine suffer from poverty, poor social services, and a scarcity of livelihood opportunities. The bulk of the Rakhine economy is made up of farmers, fishermen, and family-run business, and wages in the agricultural sector are low. Landlessness is more common in Rakhine than other parts of the country, especially in the northern part of the state, where 60% of households are landless. While other parts of Myanmar have seen rapid economic growth over the past years, Rakhine has fallen further behind. Current international perceptions of Rakhine as a place marked by unrest and frequent human rights violations, including enforced segregation, continue to discourage foreign investment. Various factors serve to undermine the prospects for economic growth in the state, including frequent natural disasters, such as cyclones, and the impact of climate change. Yet, many obstacles to growth and development are man-made. Historically, the Rakhine State, notably the northern and northwestern areas of the Union of Myanmar, serves as the homeland of a unique semi-Indian community commonly known as the Rohingya. Of the 275.8 kilometers of border that Bangladesh shares with Myanmar, 219.5 kilometers belongs to the Rakhine State, and majority of the Rohingya villages are dotted around this border. Shared religious belief, coupled with social and cultural homogeneity, allowed this community to develop closer relationship with the mainstream Bengali communities of Bangladesh rather than their native countrymen, i.e., the major races of Myanmar, Rakhine's, Barmans, for that matter, any other Mongoloid populations. Presence of ragged Arakan Hill range that geographically isolated the Rakhine State from rest of Myanmar further augmented social, political, and economic ties between the communities residing on either side of the Bangladesh-Myanmar border. As such, any changes in demographic order on one side of the communities residing on either side of the Bangladesh-Myanmar border has a profound effect to the other side. Since her independence in 1948, the arbitrary state policy of Myanmar government towards the Rohingya community that has often generated communal unrest, together with the resurgence of Buddhist extremism throughout Myanmar in recent years, has also contributed in an upsurge of interfaith rivalry in Greater Rakhine State and in other areas of Myanmar as well, that collectively resulted in their mass migration to the outside world. Bangladesh, with her geopolitical proximity to the Rohingya inhabitant territories, has become the unwitting victim of this Rohingya crisis. An increased involvement of big powers, i.e. the China, US, India, UN, and the EU into Myanmar's state affairs has further complicated the issue. The insurgency-ridden but vastly resourceful country is now enjoying their newfound geopolitical status of being at the center of global attention. Myanmar, in one hand, is eagerly moving forward with their controlled democratic reform process, a prerequisite for large-scale foreign investment. On the other hand, also very much committed to solve their persistent and legitimate ethnic insurgency problems that has been in existence in almost all the ethnic-dominated territories. Understandably, neither are they interested nor compelled in addressing an issue which, to their view, is both illegitimate and irrelevant to their national interest. Rohingyas simply doesn't exist in this part of the world. Rakhine State politics. The internal politics of the state is traditionally dominated by bicameral interest of its two largest communities, Rakhine and the Rohingyas. In 2015 general election, the Arakan National Party, ANP, an ethnic Rakhine-dominated political entity, won the most contested seats. Known for its hardline ethnic nationalist stances, as well as Islamophobic and anti-Rohingya sentiments, it won 10 seats in the Amyotha Hlutau, 12 in the Pithu Hlutau, the post of Ethnic Affairs Minister, and 22 of the contested 35 seats, rest 12, reserved for military seats in the Rakhine Hlutau. Till the 2010 election, interests of the ethnic Rohingyas had largely been looked after by their own elected parliamentarians, but with their voting rights taken off, Rohingyas are now left with only one alternative to survive: earn the confidence of local Rakhine elites, no matter how uncongenial that might appear to them. Thank you for listening to Chapter 1 of Ballad of Rohingya by Mahbub Saber. Thank you for being a growing part of our growing audiobook community. Our next content is Chapter 2, The Rohingyas. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to listen our new audiobook.